Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for checking out this video here on Show Style and Spirit. I am Ebony, of course. And as you can see from the title of this video, I will be giving my commentary on Destiny and her coach, Coach Deon, their latest Mental Monday show, where they talked about trauma bonding and how you would approach such relationships. And they also talked about the YouTube interactions between people who are pro Melody and people who may be, if they wouldn't agree that they're anti Melody, perhaps they would say they're pro rest of the cast. And I would say, if you remove the angle of Coach Deon being Destiny's coach and their commentary being sort of surrounded by the show, if you just compartmentalized and look at what Coach Deon says just generally as therapeutic, she definitely gives some good information during this Mental Monday show. And then I feel like she seemingly, talks about her dislike of anyone disrespecting anyone's parent. And we're going to get into what she says on that for sure. So now before we do, I ask that you please hit the like button on this video. You hear us content creators ask you to do that all the time, because then YouTube will recommend this video to more people. And also, please subscribe to the channel if you have not already done so. Everything that I'm saying in this video is alleged and just my opinion. And the Copyright Act of 1976 says that my fair use commentary on these sound bites are allowed. And thank you so much. All right, so first we're going to talk about their opinions on basically reality TV stars, sacrificing their boundaries to be on a show. So I will play this soundbite and then come back with my commentary.
Real life. So if people are going to sacrifice, you all have, and I mean this for every person on the cast, people have sacrificed their privacy. They have sacrificed more than they probably ever thought. More than they thought. And I don't like going after things that people haven't offered up. Like I do believe we shouldn't demand unlimited access to people's life. Just use what they offered up. Use what they offer. If they offer something on the internet, you can use that. We're probably not gonna go into that here on this platform. But if they offer that up to you, keep it in the scope of the show. That's why we came out here. We give you parts of our private life on a television show, and then it's never been a thing where. I think this show does it the most, where people dig into personal things that are outside that are not being shared. And a lot of the times it's for various reasons. It's for protection, it's for a lot of things. It's layered, and people think that it's funny, or it's cute to I'm breaking news. And sometimes I feel like y'all need to fall back on that, because you never know who you're affecting. Yeah. But that's what I'm learning. Well, I'm not learning. I've known this. It's just sad to see it happen so regularly. People are just entertained. A lot of times people are entertained by their own anger and their own outrage and things like that. So I got confronted by some old ladies at a brunch after church, after a good old Sunday. I know they went to church because they had their church clothes on. And I was in Atlanta at brunch, and I didn't go to church that day. Don't call me no either, because I did watch it on TV, I think. And anyway, went to brunch with some girlfriends, and this lady came up to me and she said, "Are you Destiny?" I said, "Yes, ma'am." "No, how?" "Let's leave it at that." And I was like, what? And I looked at the table, and there were her other gray-haired friend, and she's looking like, I'm like, these.
Okay, now in Destiny, I will say that in my opinion, I actually feel like that type of vibe, that's not even just directed towards you because you're on Love and Marriage Huntsville. My experience, just some churchgoers, not all churchgoers, some more seasoned to elderly Black women who are churchgoers. Some of them, they're just going to be judgmental and negative regardless. Not all, of course, it's not a generalization, but some. And that's based off of my real life experience. They're totally that way. That is totally their vibe towards you. And you didn't do anything. You could be, I was like working, I was getting ready to do the announcements. I came from the youth department, getting ready to do the announcements, and a lady like brought that same negative vibe to me. And I'm getting ready to stand up in front of the whole congregation and read the announcements. So that's definitely not just you. Just speaking on that tail end of the soundbite. Now, so they brought up a very interesting point about just giving commentary within the scope of the show and what is seen on camera. I will say that for when people probe and they find out maybe things about people's former businesses or former financial situation, that's definitely not just specific to the cast of Love and Marriage Huntsville. If you all can remember when Kim Fields was on The Real Housewives of Atlanta, she only did one season. And in that one season, you know, bloggers uncovered that she allegedly had a tax lien. And then, so by the time they filmed the reunion for season 8, Kenya had brought that up, you know, pow, 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 pow at the reunion and brought up Kim Fields' tax lien. It's happened so many times. When we were first introduced to ROA, the Real Housewives of Atlanta, people looked into the Leaks' financial situation, because when ROA first came on, it was 2008, which was the very beginning of the housing market crash. So that was when people looked into the alleged foreclosures and saying, oh, do you know they rent? They don't own. So I say all this to say that, again, looking into the reality TV stars of Love and Marriage Huntsville is nothing unique, because it's definitely done. Now, whether or not it's going too far, you know, stuff like that, it could be embarrassing to people. Me, I personally believe, having been someone who's worked in the financial industry and has written mortgages upon mortgages, I've written lots of FHA mortgages. Anything credit wise or financial, it's not definitive. You know, credit can always be repaired. Your savings can always be restored. But I get it, as a human, that may still be embarrassing. So I definitely empathize, but I just want to point out that people probing about things regarding reality TV stars, it is definitely not just specific to the cast of Love and Marriage Huntsville. And some people, they have their specialties, their fortes. I've said it a couple of times previously. Giving an analysis on legal documents, that is not my thing. I believe that I am more so a writer, and then I try to search for the human interest of a story. So while I am a numbers girl, I'm not a legality girl. So I go to other channels like Trending at some point, T from TV, for that legal analysis. So, and I say that to say some people, that may be their passion, their interest, their like. So they are going to look up, you know, the court cases and give their commentary on that. And it's, again, it's nothing specific to just the cast of Love and Marriage Huntsville. Now, another point that I wanted to make about, you know, in response to them saying just give commentary on things that we see on the show. Well, some reality TV stars do interviews. And Destiny did an interview with a gentleman, his podcast, and I'm paraphrasing the name of his podcast. I believe is Dear Future Wifey. And that's where she talked a lot about her relationship experience with her ex-husband, LeBerick. So, I mean, we all gave commentary on that interview. that was not within the scope of the TV show, but it was on a public platform such as YouTube. And that interview provides the sound bites through which us bloggers gave commentary on fair use commentary. So in addition to the scope of the show, if a reality TV star does an interview, then you open the door for commentary on that as well. And also they talked about idol worshiping. And so I wanted to get into that topic as well. So I'll go ahead and play this soundbite and then come back with my commentary.
That's why I don't get mad. That's why I don't get mad. I really don't. I don't know how people, I know people be intending for it to land on me a certain way. It doesn't. It just breaks my heart. I used to get mad. I ain't gonna say that. I used to get mad. I don't anymore, but I used to be like, what's wrong with these people? It's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking. And then I see, sometimes I'm watching, I'm like, man, I'm looking at a prisoner. That's why I don't want anybody, don't ever make this girl your idol. That's too heavy of a weight to carry. You know what? Because what idols are, they're slaves. They are absolute slaves to the opinions of others, to the control of others. And that's what we see. We see a bunch of people out here trying to control. I'm going to control what you say. I'm going to control how you think. Instead of, I'm going to work on what's in me that's so reactive to it. Now, as content creators, I do think you have a responsibility to talk about what you see. I love that the space is starting to get more balanced out and people are starting to talk about it from different perspectives. Believe it or not, I don't want all the voices from their side, not their side. People who have a different perspective than us, I don't want those voices to go away. I just wish we would clean it up. I wish we would get away from attacking and just addressing the issue. That's what people do. They just come and attack. You're stupid. And they're like, you're not even a therapist. I mean, you could have did a 5-minute research, not even that much on Google. It's like, and then accountability of putting out factual things too. Like, yes, it's the days of true journalism where you would actually get in trouble for spreading lies. It's not. Yeah, you just can't just write anything about people because you would literally lose your career. And people will just put anything out there. Yeah, without any concern about how it affects people's safety. It's crazy. It's crazy. But we can't change.
Okay, so a few things that I wanted to talk about. So Destiny, bloggers, they are different from actual journalists. So a journalist, I can give the experience of for TV news. So not if you're working for a paper publication such as a newspaper or a magazine, but with TV news, the producers, they come in the morning and, they're reading the newspaper. They're also looking at the feeds from CNN, the Associated Press, MSNBC, Fox News to get that national scope of news. And then they're listening to the police receivers. If there's any local news that's popping off, any SHOOTINGS, things like that. And then they have a morning meeting and they'll say, okay, well, I read in the paper that this is going on. The mayor's going to have a press conference, and on MSNBC, they're going to do an interview with VP Kamala Harris, and then they're going to decide which stories make the newscast and which reporters locally are going to go to which local stories to do their live reports, And then you go with your microphone, you ask the person, can I ask you some questions? The videographer gets ready, the reporter does their work in the field, and the news writers, they get with the producer for that broadcast. I want you to write the news anchors intros to X, Y, and Z stories. And the live reporter that's in the field, he or she has done their interviews. The videographer has also shot video that the reporter can write to. They edit it in their truck. The trucks are called a microwave because they're so powerful. They feed their finished product back to the TV studio from that same microwave truck, and then it's ready to go in at that certain time for the story. That is journalism. What all of us bloggers do here on YouTube, that is blogging, where we are going to the big blogs, our sources, our news feeds is the Shade Room, Neighborhood Talk, Hollywood Unlocked, the Jasmine brand. You know, there's so many, and we're getting stories. And then when it comes to Love and Marriage Huntsville, being in this particular LAMH sector, also our news feeds is Instagram and going to all of you's IG stories and going to the urbanbell.com. And we see something that speaks to us as bloggers and we give commentary on it. So blogging, it is different from journalism. There are some similarities in terms of getting stories. The different sources are totally different, right? But there are some differences, but bloggers are not journalists. And I want to say, me, Ebony, I definitely do not partake in idol worship. I am someone who has worked in the youth department. Like I said, I've taught the kids Sunday school. Before I worked in the mortgage industry, I was an avid Wednesday, Sunday church goer, plus any auxiliaries that I was involved in. I was at the church after work for those meetings as well. I used to study. I was like in the morning before you go into work, Psalm 23, Psalms 91. And then on my lunch break from my cell phone, I would find a chapter or two to read while eating lunch. I say all that to say that I definitely have studied the word, and I do not see my support of someone, my support for Melody Cherie, as idol worship. I've been a subscriber to a variety of YouTube channels for several years now. I have never left mean comments about the content creator or even the celebrity at hand, you know, whatever the topic was, nothing threatening or body shaming or anything like that. That's not in my nature. And I can say that some people, not all, who are not pro Melody Cherie, they've come onto my channel and they've left horrible comments about me simply because they disagree with me. So while some may say that my support for Melody could be considered idol worship, sometimes that really mean behavior with leaving those really mean comments, that could be worshiping that dark energy, that darkness, that meanness. So I definitely feel like some people, they become very angry when they don't share your opinion. And I think that they don't understand the freedom in having an opinion. And my mindset just doesn't go in the direction to be mean to someone if they share a different opinion as mine. I'm very much so laid back and would just not engage altogether. I would feel like, oh, that's not a space for me. So when people actually grab their devices, click on the comment section and start using their fingers to type something mean, that is shocking to me. But I feel like that could be considered a form of worship, worshiping a dark energy to do that, just as well as someone saying that supporting Melody or being pro Melody is like idol worship. But let's go ahead and talk about when Coach Deon was talking about the speaking on the parents. So I think that Coach Deon is definitely aware. I think that she's self-aware and she's aware of all of the commentary that has been said over time in the LAMH sector. Definitely, we all know about the scene back during season 5 at the relaunch of Madani. And Destiny was angry and she says to Miss Van, something to the effect of, that's why you were pimping your daughter, or maybe you shouldn't have been pimping your daughter. So I believe, in my opinion, Coach Deon is speaking on that. And so I appreciate her ability to, because of course, nobody wants to make anyone angry or offend anyone, right? So she's saying it in a way without really chastising Destiny. But I believe that's what she is speaking on. So I'm going to go ahead and play the soundbite and then come back with my commentary.
To read the whole thing, like talking to somebody else's parent in a disrespectful manner, that's wrong. It's absolutely wrong. That's wrong. And that's the difference. I'll never come over here and go, oh, it's okay for you to do that. I'll go apologize. Go apologize. I'll never, you won't see me on here going, oh, that's okay. But here's what I notice. It's bad when one person does it, but then okay for somebody else to do it. Somebody else to have a pattern of talking to people crazy. Like, I'm going to be honest with you. Lord, I was trying not to do this. I'm going to be honest with you. I love God. I really do. I really, really do. I do. And I got this degree. But if somebody got in my mama's face in front of me and did something crazy, I'll be ready to beat the brakes off of them. But that's a principle that I say is true across the board. I don't want Destiny doing it, and I don't think other people should get a pass when they do it either. I don't think it should be justified at all. Not at all. Not for anybody. That's how you prioritize a principle over a personality.
Okay, so definitely, like when something is said, like they're driving home their point, there's, like a few seconds of pause. And I imagine in her field of being a life coach, she probably does that to give her client a moment to process what she's saying, or she pauses to see if they're going to respond. But in any event, she was speaking about, if someone were to speak on her mom, she would be upset and she'd be ready to defend her mother. And so I'm guessing that someone asked in the live chat, well, Destiny, did you apologize to Miss Van? Because Destiny says to the person, whoever typed out some sort of question, she said, yes, the apology has been given. And then she left it at that. Now, Coach Deon, she said that with such passion, almost like something has happened like recently. And the only thing that I can think of is the one who's done any speaking lately was actually Miss Betty, the mother of Stormy, speaking on Melody's TikTok that occurred on Sunday. So I can't think of any instance where Melody has spoken on anyone's moms. And certainly I doubt it Coach Deon is referring to Wanda, because everything that Melody has ever said has been in response to something that Wanda has said on social media. So I'm not really sure if that's just a general example of having boundaries and not speaking on anyone's parents, or if Coach Deon is referring to something recently. But she said, she wouldn't want to see Destiny doing that or anyone else. But this is what I'm going to say, because in reality, it's so funny to use that word about a reality TV show. In reality, I don't see the two opposing sides as ever like coming together. It's not like we would have like a LAMH conference or something, and then everyone can like break bread together. I don't think that will happen. But I think if you stay in a space where at least the majority of the opinions are opinions that you share, I think that would be great, where you can enjoy the conversation, you can enjoy the live chat, you can enjoy the commentary. And even if there is a disagreement, because you all, generally have a consensus, you can speak things out about your disagreements peacefully without attacking each other personally. I think that is fair and realistic. Where I think it gets unhealthy is if you go over to a subsector, and you know that you don't like Melody Cherie, and the channel promotes her and is pro her, and then you leave like really nasty comments, and it's even about the person who has the YouTube channel simply because you disagree with them. And I just, I think that that's a little wild. So, but I thought that in the beginning of the live, where it wasn't really LAMH focused, they were talking about trauma bonding. And Coach Deon was just saying, if you meet someone and you realize that they are hurting, they are dealing with some deep hurt, she said, you try to get that person some help, and just know that that's not your specialty. That's not your job to try and fix anyone. And of course, I'm paraphrasing. I'm giving my interpretation of what I was listening to. So if you, again, could compartmentalize her commentary on the show and just listen to what is just straight therapeutic, there could be some takeaways that you could get from it for sure. But that was my commentary on some things that they talked about regarding LAMH. I definitely thank you all so much for watching this video. I always appreciate the support. Please hit the like button on this video, as it is a free way of supporting the channel. And I said this earlier on my video about I'll Be Sure and him speaking out about, how he almost lost his life after Kim Porter passed away. But I hope that we all have a terrific Tuesday tomorrow. And I know that we definitely will. And I will talk with you all soon. Bye.